Hello, my name is Malika Snaitha, and I'll be presenting a review of the paper called Self-Rewarding Language Models. And the authors of the paper are from New York University and Facebook's Meta. And this paper is published in March 2025 in Arxiv Online. I have chosen this paper because it talks really about a exciting idea how large language models can get better on their own without human intervention. Let's start with the problems that they tackled here. Right now, most large language models like GPT, Claude, Gemini are trained using frozen reward models built from the human feedback. Once these models trained, they don't learn anything anymore, which creates a bottleneck problem for the model. And the model can only improve as much as the human feedback allows, in which it limits the progress. Previously, few methods such as reinforcement learning from human feedback and direct preference optimization have made great significant progress in terms of solving bottleneck problem, but they still depend heavily on human preferences. And the solution that these researchers proposed here is very simple but powerful. Self-rewarding language models. It's a new term. Instead of needing humans to judge responses forever, the models becomes its own judge. Firstly, it does two things. The first thing is it creates a prompt on its own and follow the instructions by generating answers. Secondly, it evaluates the answers generated using a method called LLM as a judge. And the training happens here through something called iterative direct preference optimization, iterative DPO, we call it, where the model keeps creating new training data from its own judgment throughout the iterations, and then it fine tunes itself to get better over the time. And the results throughout their experiment were really impressive. They started with the Llama 270B model, and after 3 rounds of self-rewarding iterations, they outperformed Claude, Gemini Pro, and GPT-4 0613, and on a benchmark called Alpaca Evolve 2.0. The win rates are also improvised by over 20%, in which this approach could massively reduce the human need and move AI towards truly autonomous and self-improving systems. However, they also noted that it still struggles a bit with complex reasoning tasks such as mathematics and coding, also in terms of critical thinking. For my critical point of view, the strengths here is to remove the frozen reward bottleneck system, and also it allows the models to grow smarter on their own without human intervention. It's more scalable and much more cheaper in the long run, but when it comes to the weaknesses, there is a real risk for reward hacking, where the model learns to game its own scores and train its own reward model. Also, without careful security safety standards, self-rewarding could drift away from human values as well. To conclude, self-rewarding language models, they are a really major leap in AI alignment and training. By letting these models evaluate and improving themselves, we could unlock continuous AI evolution. Of course, there is still much more to explore, especially around the safety, security, and robustness. But this paper shows an exciting path for the future of self-improving AI. And also, before I wrap up, I want to share a really interesting idea mentioned recently by Aravind Srinivas, who is the CEO of Perplexity AI. He said that in the future, the models might not just respond instantly like they do today. Instead, they could act more like true thinkers, taking time to go away, think deeply, and come back with smarter, more thoughtful answers, much more like Feynman or Einstein would approach a hard problem. This idea really matches with the self-rewarding models are starting to build. AI that not only reacts fast but also improves itself intelligently and patiently over the time. Thank you for listening.